Hello, and welcome to another episode of Dave Trippin'. A practice in irony. Believe me, you wouldn't believe. Okay, so the context of this video, I'll explain it at the end, but I just spent 15 minutes wandering around recording this video, and it didn't work. I finished, I was like, that was damn good. I think I've said everything I need to say, and the movie was screwed up and it had no sound. So I'm gonna wander around some more and go through my local area. I'm finally the asshole with the selfie stick talking to himself. It finally happened. There's no point in resisting, it's futile. Okay, so what I wanted to talk about, getting a job in Japan is really goddamn hard. Getting a job teaching specifically. And all of this video, quick, before all you bastards are like, well, you hypocrite, you have a job. But everything is context, right? Everything is context and situational and different for every single person who's going through the experience. And I really have noticed since making my channel and trying to help people and offer advice to get them over here, that, wow, is there a lot of roadblocks that get in everybody's way? And it was difficult for me to get the initial position, but I thought not so difficult. But that was my personal experience, where I've come to find that when I get these people writing emails to me, it's like that there was too many bananas in stock that day, that the wind was blowing in just such a way that the company said they didn't want to hire them. That like their left foot was bigger than their right foot in a way which made the interviewer feel uncomfortable. Just the stupidest reasons that people aren't getting hired. And so I thought that I should tell a story, I hope, which is somewhat inspirational, to show people that they're not alone in this, because that's what it really ends up feeling like when I think these people go through these kinds of experiences. They're like, am I the only one who doesn't get this job? Because most people would not make the video with this title. They would be saying, getting a job teaching in Japan is easy. But for all these people who don't, it really isn't, given their context, given their experience. And so I wanted to talk about my own. And it's kind of a funny story, and it'll tie in also to the perseverance of re-recording this video. I've been here for 3 years now, and when you get here, and after about a year or so, if you start with one of these major companies, and I've discussed this in other videos, then you probably want to move along. You want to move along for a number of reasons. You want to make more money. You want to evolve your teaching style. You want to go to a more prestigious school, right? You want to do all these things. And so you want to move along. And so I went about that process as anybody would. I've applied to well over, like 30 different places. Some people might right away go, they're like, oh, that's not that many. That's for me, that's a lot of places to apply to. And I managed to land interviews with about 6 of them. And I got to the 6th interview, and every single time it was the same thing. Almost more infuriating than having somebody say to me, you are not qualified. I would go to these interviews and they would go amazingly well every single time. I'm comfortable in interview. As you can tell, I don't mind talking. I love the sound of my own voice, it's fine. And I've mostly got the experience for it. So by the end of it, they'd be like, you're amazing. And we think you'd fit in perfectly here. And we're not going to hire you. So that's eventually what would happen to me for the first 5. And then I came to the 6th interview, and it seemed finally like all engines were go. I was gonna get it. It was at this really cool place in kind of central west Tokyo called Jiugaoka. And if you're in the know, Jiugaoka is like a really schwanky area to be in. Oaxaca, very beautiful cemetery. Can't believe I'm saying beautiful cemetery, but it is. A real schwanky place. And these guys are brutal in how exacting in the interview process they are. Basically, it takes over a month and a half, but, and well worth it. They got the pay raise, they got everything. And that you go through 4 separate interviews to eventually get hired there. And every single one, I knocked it out of the park. When I did my demo lesson for them, they said it was great. When I met them, everybody in the office, like, they loved me. You know, I was a brother from another mother immediately with like a bunch of the people who worked there. And it was going great, and I made it to the end, and I got the interview with the CEO, and the CEO was even saying in the interview that, you know, you're the only one who asked these kinds of questions. Because a good thing you can always do, here's an interview tip, is make sure when they ask you questions about whether you have something for them that you want to know, make sure that you ask them stuff, because then it's like a chance for them to kind of go on the defensive. And so I always ask, you know, what's your plan for your business? How do you want to grow? Blah, 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 stuff like that. How do you advertise? You know, what is your mentorship programs like for new people coming in? Things of this nature. And it went really well. And I got out the end of it, and this is the 6th interview. And I was like, oh man, this is perfect. A great video to make for this channel now would be a perseverance video. And I'm gonna show all these people that you can do it if you follow the Disney way and you put your heart to it. You can come out eventually with the result that you want, that you've desired for so long. And I made the video at like a bridge over there, and I got back to my place, and I just got this sinking feeling. And I was like, no, don't post that video. You haven't got the job yet, Dave. Don't be an idiot. And boy, am I glad I didn't, because a week later, after a 1.5-month interview process, having succeeded, I thought, in so many different ways, I got the same goddamn email that I got from every single one of these other companies, which was to say, wow, you know, everybody, wow. They all think, wow, no, we're not going to give you the job. So it happened again, and I was ready to, throw in the gloves, throw in the towel. After that many interviews, that many times, them saying, no, you're not good enough. You don't have the experience. You comb your hair over to the left, not to the right. But then I thought, you made that video. You told all these people that you need to continue to persevere if you want to have a result. And you also told them another main point that I'm going to try and make here for you, is that all these rejections, all these individual contexts that you find yourself in where you're not getting the job, the mistake is to think that it is personal. It is impersonal and random. Yeah, maybe in that moment it is, but in the greater context it isn't. It's just that we all kind of roll the cosmic dice when we want to get these jobs. And so we need to keep going if we want to have them. And I truly believe, we're going to go up to this temple here behind me. It's a beautiful view of the town. I truly believe that the only thing that does prevent us is our continuing to make an effort. And I want to say that now because I've continued to apply. I changed my mind. I was like, I'm continuing to apply, and I'm not making this video. I do not stand before you victorious. And in fact, I got 3 more job interviews, and I got rejected by another 2 in the exact same way. Can you believe it? You should believe it, considering everything that I've said so far. So I have now come to a 3rd interview, and again, it's gone really well, and I really love the school. Here's another little thing I wanted to talk about. You make the mistake too when you're applying to these different jobs. Each time you find one, you think it's the best job, you think you'll never be paid more money, and that you don't want anything else. Why would you? You've found the best. It would be stupid to go and apply to another job, because you'll never get a job as good, as an amazing location as they had it in. It just wouldn't be worth it. Couldn't be farther from the truth. That is one of the things I found as I continue to apply, is that they always get better. I've noticed for every single one of these, it's been a worse rejection, because every single job has been better than the last job. which is crazy, especially even to the one that I come to now, where it's amazing, you know, all the buildings for all their schools are made by a famous architect. They have a 2-year above average than any other students in the area in terms of their, you know, their teaching level and philosophy is hugely successful. They have easily one of the, if not highest pay rate that I've seen so far. But this has all been true of every single one of these jobs that I've gone and applied at. I've always been like, holy shit, it couldn't get better. You know, if this is it, I don't want to know about anything else. But here I am again, and wondering if I'm going to receive the same rejection letter that I got at the end of it. But our glory is not in never falling, it is rising each time we do. I've always loved that phrase, and you know, it's one thing to say it, it's another thing to act that way in your own life. And so I'm trying to assure those people, look at these momiji. Look at these momiji. These are momiji being the fall micro maple. Isn't that beautiful? A little bit of beauty in everyday video, that's why you should subscribe. I lost my point, doesn't matter. Yeah, basically that it's impersonal. We roll the cosmic dice, and if we keep going, you can get it, and you'll learn more. I found that's another thing as well, is you do this, if you keep applying, you're always learning more about the system that you're going to become a part of. And so each rejection in its own inadvertent way is teaching you something, is giving you another strength for the next interview, for the next job. You're going to have the answer that you didn't have in the previous one because you didn't know about that question, and now you do. And so you can get it. And yeah, I'll come back to that point I made earlier where it's like, I got the base job, so people can say, well, it wasn't so hard for you. But now moving on from that job, I found it colossally difficult. No one is here at the shrine, so I'm not talking to myself in a crowd of people. Bonus. And that's it. I don't need to drone on. I think I've talked as much as I can at any point, and I don't have the job yet. I don't know if I'll make the video, if I won't make the, I got rejected again, and I'm still persevering. I don't know if you'll get that video out of me, but I wanted to tell this one to kind of, you know, keep those people going. Keep in mind that it's tough slogging, and it's always individual context, and it gets really confusing when you see the other people around you not having the same problems as you. Final point, this is the one I wanted to mention, is that wonderful person you've probably seen on this channel before. His name is Dean, lives near me. He's a great friend. He's a brother of mine, brother from another mother, and he hadn't applied to that many jobs and wasn't even going through the process of applying for jobs, and had said many times to me that he was content to stay with the company that we're at. But I kept insisting. I was like, man, if you want to improve your situation, get on the Dave inspiration train and start applying. And that quiet little part in myself, when he recently applied to a job and got hired, when he's probably, you know, applied to like a fifth of the jobs that I have, blew my mind. I was like, how come he can do it? And the universe just clicked in that situation. The guy shared the same degree as him, you know, he went in, he blew him away in whatever particular way that needed to work that time. And so you'll see these other experiences that are confusing, and you do not grow resentful of those who are having success, because it has nothing to do with your own. You'll find it yourself. And something I would say as well, you add to your story. Every single one of these times that you go in and you don't get the job, but you keep going, you become that much more of a badass. How boring is the person who, well, they're successful, but they're boring. How boring is the person who goes in and gets the job right away? No one would watch that movie. It'd be over in like 5 minutes. People want to watch the movie like The Pursuit of Happiness, where you see Will Smith get the shit kicked out of him for like an hour, and you're like, will anything ever go right for this gorgeous, incredibly fit man? But it only happens at the end, and it's only impressive because he keeps going. Now, that's what we need to do. We need to keep going. And I'm going to do it, regardless of whether this new job, this new dream job that seems better than all the rest, turns out that it's going to reward me with a positive result or not. I want to give you a shot. You can see from the temple my town from here. So yeah, keep going. Keep going. That's all I'm saying. We all got to keep going. I'll get these yellow in the background. That'll be a good way to finish this. Momiji. That's a better way to finish. So keep going. And if you like videos like this, please do hit that like button. please do subscribe to the channel. And as a final thought, I figured it would be kind of cool if people want to give, you know, for everybody, it should be a community that supports each other. You know, that's another thing I've noticed that is a great strength of making this channel, is I have all these people to reach out to support, but we support each other in turn. That we should all write our comments down below about the bizarre reasons that you've been rejected for a job. Tell me, you know, like I said, whether it was your big foot, your foot was bigger than your left was bigger than your right, you know, you got little sausage fingers. But then it'll show all these other people are going through these bizarre circumstances, that they're not alone. And that's the worst feeling of all, when you feel, you know, like as Atlas would with the world on your shoulders, or as Sisyphus pushing your rock up the hill. That's right, Greek illusions everywhere. I think Atlas is a Greek illusion. I'm gonna look like an idiot if it isn't. Anyways, yeah, so thanks for checking out the video. Like, subscribe, share your stories down below, and I'll catch you guys in the next videos. If you want to get to Japan, if you want to get the job, don't stop. Neither will I.